I don't do distractions. I'm coming back in.
Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lou, and we back here with another episode for y'all, man. And we got a banger. We got a banger in this one. I ain't gonna lie. We on the basketball talks for this episode. Uh, we got a list of players who played for different teams, of course, superstars. A list of superstars, and we're going to figure out which version of themselves was the better version. Like, so, J. Lou, tell me who's on the list. Who we got on that list right now?
Mm. All right. So we're gonna do 5 individual players, and first player I'm gonna start off is Chris Paul.
Hmm.
Now, what 4 years? He's been on 3 different teams: Phoenix, OKC, and Houston. But majority of his career spent in New Orleans, where he was drafted, and really started becoming a point god in his 3rd year with the New Orleans Hornets. And then he got
Hmm.
traded, of course, the blockbuster trade to the Clippers when it was supposed to be the Lakers. So he spent 6 season with the Clippers as well. Which team do you feel like Chris Paul performed at the best, his peak?
It's tough, really. It's really tough because I could go Pelicans 2 years there. He got or he averaged 20 and 10 on points and assists, and then he averaged 10 assists 3 of those times. But then again, you got the Clippers, Lob City. He averaged 10 assists, 9.7 in Clippers, so that's basically 10. Or not, 2012. So 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, he averaged 10 assists. That's tough. And they got places. Then the Suns right now, they got to the finals. And
Hmm.
ooh, I mean, granted, he didn't really do much, but just his presence alone. So I can't really say the Suns. If I had to say the best CP3, the absolute best CP3 was Clippers. Clippers CP3 was even. It is close. I ain't gonna say that. It's close with that and the Pelicans. It's really close. But the Clippers, he averaged a double double on in 4 years. 4 years, yeah, 4 straight years he averaged a double double. That's tough, bro. That's tough. In 2014, he didn't miss a game. He played every single game in 2014. That's
Mm.
that's tough, bro. In 2014, didn't miss a game. You basically averaged 20 and 10. That's that's tough. And along with two steals. That's the best Chris Paul. Clippers is the best Chris Paul, bro. It's the best.
Mm. Okay. I understand. I understand that one right there. But Chris Paul, you said it's only between New Orleans and LA. I think there's a good debate to be made with every team, honestly. Maybe outside OKC because they lost in the first round, but they did have a 0.4% chance of making playoffs going into the year.
As I said, they
And
didn't have much expectations.
they got him he got him to the 5th spot that year in the bubble and
Hmm.
lost in 7 to a Houston team with Westbrook and Harden. Granted, Westbrook was coming off injury, but had 2 superstars at guard, and it took him to 7 on the game winning possession in Game 7. But
Yeah.
no, the Clippers pick. Say, I think it's closer than you think, but in second place, I got to go with the Rockets. I go Clippers first with you, but
Oh.
I think I'm gonna go Rockets second because when he was with Houston, they were giving KD Warriors bump, good bump in the playoffs and in the regular season. I think the second year together they won 65 games, won the first seed in the West. They took the Warriors to 7 games. They didn't have Chris Paul for the last 2 games, 6 and 7 though. People were saying there's still people on the record saying that they had Chris Paul. Rockets go to the finals against the Cavs that year. And who knows from there? Maybe Chris Paul beats Braun there. Who knows? Because I think that was 2018 when I think Kyrie was gone. So it would be LeBron with his cast of Kevin Love, Rodney Hood, JR, and them. But who knows? Maybe Harden and Chris Paul get a ring.
Dang, so Rockets Chris Paul better than Pelicans Chris Paul?
Chris Paul was good, but they didn't really have like the team success. And I think Paul got to the Rockets, he was able to show his value a little bit more because he had more space to work with. Pelicans, I mean, it was his early days. He had David West, didn't have a lot of valuable help around him to make like a good playoff push. But I'm pretty sure in 2009 he was up for debate and MVP, but ultimately didn't win it, of course. So you can make that case. I just think when he was with Houston, that pairing of him and James Harden, when people said, "Oh, that pairing probably won't work out," it probably won't work out at all. But they ended up making it work. They got to the conference finals, I think, twice. So barring injury, like I said, maybe they could have went to the finals. But I think I'll agree with you on the Clippers pick. The sole reason, it's just that team they had a lot of expectations year in year out, but I felt like coaching between like Doc Rivers and of course injuries in the playoffs derailed them of trying to win a ring. So that's why I brought up Houston being the second spot instead of the Hornets back then. Second player on the list we have is Paul George out in Indiana. Got traded to OKC in the 2018 year. And now he's ended up on the Clippers. How you feel about PG? PG's best season.
Well, he's not bad on the Clippers, but he's definitely not better than Thunder or Pacers Clipper or Paul George. But this is tough, bro. It's tough. Because it's like Pacers Paul George was a dog. He was going up with Braun and D Wade and Chris Bosh and them.
It's true.
So pretty much by himself.
By himself?
It looked like it. It looked like it. Like his. I don't know, bro. Like it's Thunder Paul George. The 2 years he's been there, regular season wise, is better by far than all the Pacers years, all his Pacers years. And he was in the MVP conversation, and I do believe he probably could have won it if Giannis wasn't a person. But still. 2018. In 36 minutes, 28 points, 43% shooting, almost 40% from the three, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. 2 steals a game? Paul George, that in 77 games, too. He only missed 5 games. That is the best Paul George. Simple. Even though he went. Now, if we're talking playoffs, Pacers Paul George, and it's not close. Pacers Paul George, and it's not close. Regular season, it's Thunder Paul George. It's simple.
Okay. I think with Paul George, I think right now the Clippers past playoffs that just happened in 2020-2021 season, I think he showed that he's starting to lead. He can lead a team again. like he did in Indiana for his leg injury. But with with that being said, I don't think he's gonna be the best player on the championship team. That's why they obviously bought Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers. But right now, he got the Clippers on a float this season, keeping them in a tough. I mean, the West is kind of banged up right now, but uh, it's still the Western Conference. I mean, he's keeping them above float and playoff hunt at least. And the support players, he got. I mean, Reggie Jackson's balling. Still got Morris. You also got Luke Kennard shooting really well, and the rookie Brandon Boston, which was a good pickup for them. I think
Terrence Mann.
they'll be Terrence Mann. I think he's leading them pretty well right now. Obviously, he's not playing at the moment. I think he's been out for at least 1 week. I'm not sure the injury. And I don't have the stats up right now, but you read off OKC, put up MVP numbers. People were calling him MVP George at one point. Playoff time, I really can't blame it all on him. Besides the last game when we lost to the Jazz in the first round, he shot bad that game. But I just think I think OKC he definitely was in the regular season the best.
Yeah, that's fact.
The next player on the list is Kevin Durant. And of course, he's my favorite all time. Just a lethal player. Played with Seattle, got drafted there. Then of course they moved to OKC. Then he left us to go to the Warriors 2016, 2017 off season. And then after the Warriors, he recently just joined the Brooklyn Nets in his second full season with them this year. So how you feel about KD?
It's tough, bro. This probably the toughest one on the list. This is the toughest one on the list because Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant, he was young. He was like still going through it. He went to a finals in 2011. And that same season, 28 on almost 50% shooting, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and a steal. That's tough. And that was just that season alone. There was seasons he averaged 30. He averaged 30 on 2 separate occasions with the Thunder. That's tough. Then again, you got Warriors KD, an assassin, deadly. When you saw him with a straight face, you just get scared because it's like, oh my gosh, he could just walk up the court and just pull that joint in your face. Don't even matter. Kush. Same thing with Nets. He just dropped 50 the other night with ease. It looked like with ease. It looked like it was with ease earlier this season. I think he dropped, I forgot what it was. I think he dropped 40. He only missed like 4 shots. I'm like, this is tough, bro. This is tough. But for this situation, I gotta go Warriors. Because that 3-year stint with the Warriors, he averaged over 50%. Over 50%. That's hard. When you're someone who's a all-time scorer, averaging over. First off, he averages just about 50% from the field goal from the field in his career. In his career, he averages 50%. So it's also the Warriors because he won. He won there. He was close in OKC, but he won with the Warriors and he got 2 Finals MVPs with them. That's tough, man. I gotta go Warriors. Warriors the best KD. I gotta go.
I'm not mad at it, but I think I'm gonna go no bias here. I'd rather have Brooklyn and OKC KD before Warriors.
And wow.
Let me tell you why. Brooklyn. Well, let's start with Brooklyn. Off an Achilles tear. How do you, bro? I think there's been only one player whose stats got better, Achilles tear, and that's Dominique Wilkins. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer, but everybody else, Kobe, his Achilles wasn't the same. DeMarcus Cousins, he's still team hopping. He's on the Bucks now. He tore his Achilles, still not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot off the top of my head, but off a
Wasn't
torn
Klay Thompson an
Achilles,
Achilles?
we haven't seen him play yet, so can't make that judgment yet. But
True.
off an Achilles, this is his second season with the Nets. Last season took the Nets to Game 7 practically by himself against the NBA champs that year, against the Bucks. Joe Harris didn't show up. He points in a game 5, put up 50 in game 5. He's playing 47 minutes off a torn Achilles in the playoffs. Practically 47 minutes, 46 minutes. James Harden, he's hobbling on a hamstring. Kyrie goes down with an ankle injury, I'm pretty sure, in the first round to Boston. He's carrying the Nets. And then we fast forward to after that postseason, this season, he's getting better. He's averaging almost 30. 8 and 6. People probably pass him up on MVP right now for Curry. I'm not mad at that. He was my preseason pick. But KD is clearly the second, if not the first, MVP right now in that spot. Dude, in the last 3 games, is averaging 40 on 12 boards with almost 10 assists. He's at 9.7. That's almost a triple-double right there. Without Harden, and he's winning. They just beat Philly last night. He had 34. I think it's amazing to me because it's the Achilles. He's playing like he's better, and his Warriors. I say Warriors defensively, he had to play a little bit better defensively than he has in OKC and Brooklyn because they would practically run a death lineup with him playing big man at the 5 to rim protect because he's 7 foot long. So, I mean, he had to play defense, but now in OKC he had Ibaka. I mean Adams. He had big men down there. He didn't really have to play center like he did in Golden State when they ran a death lineup. And then in Houston, and Brooklyn, they got Claxton. They got big men. So technically he's not a center, but they got Claxton, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Paul Millsap. But I'll say the Warriors argument part is a very strong case. But Klay also OKC. That's when he won his first MVP. Averaged 32 that year without Westbrook playing. Got them to the playoffs. They go that far, either lost in the first or second round, but he averaged 32 points, practically being double teamed every night almost. Like everybody knew KD clearly was going to get the ball, and he still averaged 32. That's insane right there to think about it. I remember watching his MVP season too. It's kind of like what he's doing right now with Brooklyn, Harden, and Kyrie. So
Yeah.
for player wise, I think is easily one of the best KDs I've seen. And the only other KD I say matching it is MVP year with Oklahoma City. That's just my opinion. That's a hot take.
That's tough. That's tough. Ooh.
That is definitely a hot take. But moving on to our 4th player is Mr. Kawhi Fun Guy Leonard. He's currently out this season, probably most of the season with his ACL injury, but he got drafted by the Spurs, and then he got traded to Toronto after the little breakup, and now, like I said, he's on the Clippers. What do you view Kawhi team he is best at?
See, I was looking into this, and I was going to say the Raptors because he went there, he won after 1 year, all this other stuff, the drama with the Spurs. But I gotta say Clippers, based off last year alone. Year alone was probably one of the best Kawhis I've ever seen. He was efficient almost every time on the floor. He only played about 52 games though. That's like basically just over half the season. But yeah, he had 24 points, 51% shooting, almost 40% from three, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal. It's like the stats don't do it justice because I watched Kawhi last year, playoffs and regular season, and he literally looked. It's like he plays like he looks so stiff, but he looks so unguardable. It looks unguardable. It's like the Spurs. He was in a system. He was doing okay. Like you can make a case for the Spurs because 2016 had 20 average 25, 48, 38. You know, and the Raptors, of course, he won a chip. But I just don't see those. I just don't see Spurs because overall, like that, he had that one. I say 2 years, uh, 2.5. I say he had those 2.5 years because 2016 and 2017, not 2016, 2015 and 2016 was really good, and 2014 was cool. 2014 was cool too. But and then the year he won Finals MVP when I really don't think he should have got Finals MVP, but hey, I just don't see any of those better than Clippers Kawhi.
Hmm. Clippers Kawhi. He's not bad on the Clippers. But I think to me, it's got to be Raptors Kawhi easily. You joined that team 1 year off all of the distraction your uncle caused with the business side of basketball, and coming off an injury. I think it was from the Zaza injury with his foot.
Oh
You
yeah,
come back, you come to the Raptors. You don't play a lot during the regular season. You load manage, of course, you get ready for the playoffs. And playoffs where he made his money worth. I think I don't have the numbers like I said right now, but I'm pretty sure during that playoff run he averaged around 32 points, and they won finals. He won finals MVP, and they beat the Warriors. Granted, without KD playing most of the series, but still beating a great team like Golden State and probably giving us one of the most memorable shots of the past decade with the shot against Philly.
yeah.
Like they probably could have lost that game in overtime if he doesn't hit that shot. Then they go on to beat the MVP Giannis in the Bucks that year. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. They like is that those 3 games between Philly. I don't remember they beat the first round, but the second round when they beat Philly, then moved on to the Bucks and then beat the Warriors. Those 3 teams right there. I think he played outstanding in all those series. Granted, the finals, his teammates did step up. Like Siakam was playing good, Fred VanVleet, Ibaka, Marcus Gasol was hitting his shots by then. But I think his leadership role was very prominent in Toronto, and the city loved him so much that just for one season, their only ring of the franchise is from Kawhi Leonard. And they've had some players go through that franchise, like Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, Tracy for a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think Kawhi that season had a memorable playoff run. I think that playoff run outdoes what he's done so far for the Clippers and San Antonio. So give me Raptors Kawhi in the books for that one.
Okay.
The last player, of course, we got to talk about this man, LeBron James, for the Lakers, drafted by the Cavs, 03, the South Beach, 2011. Then he goes back to Cleveland, and then he's in LA now. Got 3 teams, 4 different runs though. Who do you got? What team?
I was thinking about this. I was about to say, Miami
This is
Braun
the
was
hardest one.
so dominant, and like people feared Miami Braun. But then again, I'm looking at the Cavs, and I have to go Cavs. But then I told myself, I was like, which Cavs? Which one? Now that's the tough one.
Uh-huh.
Because when he got drafted from 03 to 09, he was dragging that team on his back. And then the second step, he was dragging, like he had Kyrie, he had Kevin Love, but it still felt like he had to drag that team too. And then on top of that, the 3-1 comeback against the greatest team of all time, record wise. Probably the greatest team of all time. So, Cavs won. This is tough. Really tough. But it's, I don't know, bro. It's like I know it's Cavs, but I can't choose which Cavs. Like that's real tough. Altogether, Cavs. Oh, it's over. But ooh, dang, bro, they had LeBron from 04 to 06 to 07 playing 40 minutes a game plus. That's
Yeah.
oh my
Generation.
gosh. It's like the first Cavs Braun went to the finals, but the second Cavs Braun went there every year, but at least he won one. So I don't know, bro. You go. This tough. This tough, bro. It's tough.
So I'm guessing you're saying Cleveland. Just don't know which one.
I'm saying Cleveland. I just don't know
Okay.
which one.
I think this is tough for me. For if I'm going off my own eyes, 20, 2016 to 18 Braun. If I was you, I would pick them. Going on my eyes, those that 3 year span, especially in 2018 when he carried that team to the finals, that young team. I mean, they got Molly Watt, but even making it there after going to 7 with the Pacers, then they went to Toronto, swept them, I'm pretty sure. Then took the Celtics to game 7. Granted, Isaiah Thomas was injured. They probably Isaiah even if Isaiah Thomas plays, they could lose. That's another story for another day. But he dragged them to the finals all in all. And like you said, that was probably his 8th straight finals by then, 2018. So I think that's still a great feat. But I think I'll agree with the part you said, Miami, and I think I'm gonna choose Miami Braun, but I'm gonna choose 2013. 2013 Braun. This was the year after he beat us in the finals, got his first ring, and you could see like the weight of winning was lifted off his shoulder, and he was just going out there and just doing him. Like he was jumping out of the building, playing great defense. I think this was the year he was in the Defensive Player of the Year race too. He won the MVP again this year in 2013. I don't have the numbers up. My computer's acting up, but I'm pretty sure it was around 28 points per game with 7 and 7 on great efficiency
You
from
talking
the
about
field.
2013?
Yeah.
He got 27, 56% shooting, 30, 38 from three, 7, 6, and 1.
Yeah. So I was close. But
Yeah.
I just think that year, like I said, like how to be a champion after beating us. And going forward, he took it obviously to Cleveland. And I think without 2012 and 2013, you wouldn't see 2016 to 2018 LeBron in Cleveland without learning how to win like he did. And of course, he was still explosive like he was in '07 LeBron or 2010 LeBron, like his younger days. You could still see that Bron within his game of 2013. I think his game was more well rounded though. If you're talking mental though, his game mentally in 2018 was probably his best season. But if you just take all around, all season LeBron, 2013, I'd probably tell my kid that was probably want to go see the best version of Bron. It's got to be 2013. That's where I'm going with it.
That's tough. It is tough. Because as a Heat fan, I watched I watched almost every game. And that was I think it was 2012, 2013, whichever one. We went on that 27-game win streak. And that was probably we were just dominating through teams with LeBron leading the way. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's like I want to say Miami, but then I'm looking at the rest of the Cavaliers stats. He averaged in his rookie year, he put up 26 and 6.
Yeah.
His rookie year. Next year, 27. He jumped, averaged 7 more points, 2 more assists, 2 more rebounds, and another steal. And he averages another steal. Everything just went up. And then 2005, he averaged 30. He averaged 31. 27. 2007, he averaged 30. 2008, 28. 2009, 30. That young LeBron was crazy, bro. He was crazy, bro. It's like the effect that one man can have on a team is crazy. It's just crazy. But that second stint, though, I know I said people feared Miami Bron, but 2018 Bron, 2016, like you said, 2016 through 18, he literally owned teams in the East. He literally owned Toronto. He owned, can I say he owned Boston? I don't know, because Boston almost got it done without Kyrie.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough. But then again, if you pissed off LeBron from 2016 to 2018, you lost. It don't matter if you up by like 20, you lost. You pissed off LeBron. So it's like that's tough, bro. It's tough. But I gotta go Cavs. But hey, man, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. Let us know what you guys think down below. Which was the best version of Bron, KD, Kawhi, CP3, and Paul George? Let us know. And man, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn the post notifications on so you know when we
part
post.
2 if y'all like this video.
Definitely a part 2. Y'all do it with the NFL, because the NFL, well, Randy Moss, who else? Freaking Peyton Manning.
Brady.
Hey, Brady. Who knows, man? But we're going to save that for another time. But until then, it's your boys, Juice and Lou. We out of here. Peace.